right. Good Saturday evening, South Carolina weather watchers. I'm your meteorologist, Joseph Peterson. Let's go on and talk about the weather for your Saturday evening going into your future. Hopefully, everyone has had a fantastic Saturday. I want to come out first, and say, do apologize for no morning forecast update this morning. Today has been in the short term busy. It has been a busy day for me today. I didn't really have too much time to look at the weather until about like an hour ago. And when I did my short forecast update, which is up right now, some people actually, like 200 people have saw it already. So, yeah, I'm actually kind of shocked because I think that's like one of my highest viewed shorts, and I just posted it like 3 hours ago. But if you have not seen it yet, go on and do so. Now, that, and then also, if you have not hit the like button yet, go on and do so. Right now, we have 5 people watching, only 3 likes, so go on and hit the like button so far if you have not already. And also, go on and hit the subscribe button if you are new and you have never hit it before. We're at 620, trying to get to that main goal of 780 subscribers away. And we are 5 subscribers away from the quarter mark of 625. So 5 away from there, and then we are 80 subscribers away from 700. So we're moving. We are moving. That, and then share it with all the people that you know, rather it be a family member, a friend, an acquaintance, somebody that you don't like, a coworker, a classmate. It doesn't matter. Just send it to somebody so they can go and hit the subscribe button for us. So now that out of the way, what are we going to talk about tonight? Well, obviously we will talk about our current weather, what's currently going on. We also will talk about our weather for tonight. And then we also will continue to talk about the tropics. We'll talk about how we're going to be warm early this weekend, but then we're going to be talking about how we might be a bit cooler as we go into Thanksgiving onward. And then we also will talk about our rain chances as we go throughout next week. We'll talk about Thanksgiving weekend for next weekend, and then we will continue to talk about just our patterns and all that kind of stuff and what we have there. So starting off, what is currently going on? Well, right now, we do in fact have some rainfall ongoing, rather it be near Cheraw or Wallace or over here near Little Rock, South Carolina. Rainfall is going on. Is this thunderstorm activity? Well, right now it seems like that it is not. Looks like it's just some rainfall. But obviously the radar could potentially be missing something, so we're going to say that the possibility is there. But right now, they're saying no thunderstorm activity. Now, in terms of our rainfall and snowfall throughout the entire United States, it looks like for the most part it's mostly all just rainfall. Montana, you have some heavy rainfall with some flooding going on in Arizona. You also do have some rainfall going off the coast of Texas, rainfall in North Carolina, also some rainfall in Michigan, and then even inside of Washington as well. Rainfall moving through there, and then maybe even up there near Idaho as well. And then for the most part, that's about it. If we go to our cloud cover for the future, cloud cover for the most part shows some low clouds. Now it's more on the isolated to scattered side, so it's not too widespread, especially in the low country and in the southern Midlands. Even the PD area has some cloud cover ongoing, and even the upstate has some cloud cover ongoing. And mostly it looks clear from this map right here. Mostly clear right now. But if we go in and look at our cloud cover for the future, it agrees. You push this forward going into tomorrow morning for our Sunday morning, that cloud cover is still there in like the eastern low country, still there in the Grand Strand, but it's still mostly clear. And if we move throughout Sunday, look as we get into Sunday night going into Monday morning, nice and clear. There will potentially be some fog though as we go into tomorrow night, Sunday night going into Monday. Looks like some fog activity is possible. And then even as we go into Monday during the day, going into Monday night, cloud cover starts to move its way through again. So it looks like that we could have a dry, for sure, a dry day tomorrow going into Monday, as cloud cover seems pretty much like not a threat at all. Just like nothing turning up, meaning that without that cloud cover, obviously you're not going to have any rainfall. Now, in terms of our current temperatures right now, 67 in Columbia, in Orangeburg, in Somerville, in Sumter, also inside of Florence, in Hartsville, in Georgetown, and Murray's Inlet. Those are all at 67, 66 inside of Myrtle Beach, going inside of Conway, North Myrtle Beach, in Bennettsville. We even have around 67 in Charleston still, 65 in Greenwood, and even around 63 in Clemson, 62 in Greenville, and 63 in Spartanburg, 62, excuse me, inside of Gaffney, 65 in York and Rock Hill. Now, for your low temperatures for tonight, you have around 52 in Greenville, 52 in Spartanburg, and even around 52 in Rock Hill, 52 in Greenwood and Lawrence, and 53 in Newberry, 55 in Columbia, and 56 in Orangeburg, 54 in Aiken, and 54 in Barnwell, 55 in Walterboro, and 59 in Charleston, 57 in Georgetown, and 56 in Moncks Corner, 61 in Hilton Head Island, and 59 inside of Myrtle Beach. Now, if we go into our high temperatures for tomorrow, Sunday, November the 23rd. You have high temperatures tomorrow at 72 in Greenville, 71 in Spartanburg, 70 Rock Hill, 74 in Columbia, and 75 in Orangeburg, 75 in Walterboro, 73 in Charleston, 73 inside of Moncks Corner, 71 in Georgetown, and in Kingstree, 70 in Myrtle Beach, and 75 in Hilton Head Island, 70 in Florence, Chirag, and Dillon. Now, for your rainfall for tonight, going into tomorrow, right now, it looks like it's going to stay, for the most part, on the drier side. I guess it doesn't account that rainfall that's currently going throughout Chirag right now, or I guess that wasn't really in the forecast too much, because that definitely is producing some accumulation. Even though, for some reason, it's not really saying it on the actual radar right now, which is interesting, but it's there. And so it definitely is producing some rainfall, rather be from moderate to the heavier side, it seems. Even if I go to the Columbia radar, I can see it even better. And so that's what we're looking at here. But after that's gone, not really looking for any more precipitation after that. Now, what about our crazy score? If you have no idea what the crazy score is, the score that we see how crazy the weather is inside of South Carolina. And right now, we are indeed at a 9. We are indeed at a 9. Now, why are we at a 9, you may ask? Well, tonight, once that shower gets out of here, it's going to be dry, mild temperatures, clear, light winds, stable atmosphere, and that will allow for, we just talked about this in the Q&A, radiational cooling. You have those clear skies, mostly clear at least, and then, light winds. That's a possibility. There is no fog or frost risk, no freeze risk or anything like that. It's going to be stable. Now, for the SPC outlook for tonight, obviously with that rainfall still going on over there in the PD area, the thunderstorm activity, the thunderstorm ingredients are still there. It's still possible for a thunderstorm to get going if it gets in that area in the PD and the Grand Strand areas. But other than that, nothing else in terms of thunderstorm activity. Even as we go into tomorrow, Sunday, November the 23rd, and Monday, November the 24th, no thunderstorm activity is expected. Excessive rainfall, we look good throughout the next 3 days, but on the 4th day, being Tuesday, we have an isolated flash flood risk up here for the upstate. Greenville going into Spartanburg, Inman, Travelers Rest, Pickens, Walhalla, Seneca, Anderson, Iva. All of these areas over here has a chance for some isolated flash flooding, and that's the only day, and that's on Tuesday. That is. And so now that is out of the way, let's go on and talk about the models. So we're going to start off here at 9 o'clock p.m. as we always do. And as you go on and push this forward, according to this model right here still thinks that some more rainfall is possible. Now, 9 o'clock p.m., and then we go in and look at the actual radar right now, you can see that that's not all what's going on. And so the models have this activity that's going on right now a bit wrong right now, and so that's going to cause it to have a little bit more activity than what is actually stated right now. But if we can go on and push on past this period, it says that rainfall moves off by around like 1 to 2 o'clock in the morning. But if you continue this forward all the way into Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, going into Monday morning, nice and dry, Monday afternoon, Monday evening even looks dry as well. So we're going to have a dry Sunday and even a dry Monday for the most part. Now, what about even further into the future? This right here is a Monday evening where we just send it off. We go all the way to Tuesday. And Tuesday finally starts to bring in some rainfall activity. And so that's what was expected. You know, we have that isolated flash flood risk up there in the upstate. And so that's where you see the majority of that rainfall falling in. And you see how it stays over there for a good amount of time, even as you go into Wednesday. And that's when that flood risk is Tuesday morning going into Wednesday morning. And so you see all that rainfall that sits throughout that area as you go all the way through. Now, if you go on and check and see how much rainfall we're going to receive over the next 3 days from the National Weather Service, I mean, right now it doesn't look like a whole bunch. I mean, according to the National Weather Service of Columbia, over the next 3 days, from Sunday 7 a.m. to Wednesday at 7 a.m., it has around like a half an inch all the way up to 2 inches potentially possible. And so that doesn't seem like a lot, but if it falls in a short period of time, it could cause some issues. It could cause some issues. So now let's go on and continue talking about our models though and about our future. You want to push this forward, you have some cold air push through, and that's a cold front right there. And I want you to notice the date. This is the 26th, the day before Thanksgiving, and then you go into Thanksgiving, it looks dry. So a bit of a difference from what we saw not last night, but the night before on that Thursday, where we saw a more active Thanksgiving. Now it looks like it's more on the drier side, which is a good sign there. But if we go in and look at the anomalies, we go in and look at probably the dew points probably be better to look at so you can see the actual front itself. It pushes through. This is Thanksgiving morning right here, 7 o'clock in the morning. It is drying and in the atmosphere, and it is getting cooler. Now, this is not actual temperature. It's not going to be 21 degrees at 1 p.m. That would be kind of insane for this area. But for the most part, it looks like it's going to be some very dry air that takes over. And you can see by the lower numbers, the drier the atmosphere is. And so we can even go back into the actual temperatures themselves and see that you're going to have temperatures back down into the 30s. You're going to see temperatures below freezing. I mean, as far south as in the central Midland areas, potentially going into Thanksgiving night onto Black Friday morning. And then it starts to warm up. And then you get to around back into the 70s by the time you get into like the first day of December again. So it's going to cool down for sure. This cold front that moves in right before Thanksgiving is going to go on. And even some say maybe Thanksgiving morning is when the cold front will push through. But you can see for sure that cold air will be trying to bring its way through on Thanksgiving. And then, like I said, it's going to be dry as well for the most part. This is 7 a.m. right here on Thanksgiving, and it looks dry. Now, if we continue this forward even more, you can see rainfall definitely is coming back. Another cold front trying to push through. Right after that warm air settles on December the 1st, another cold air batch tries to move through the 2nd and the 3rd of December. And then look at this. Something from the Gulf, which, I mean, this is December the 5th. This is after hurricane season. It has a disturbance down there in the Gulf. Now, this is 300 hours out, so this is probably just a one-run thing. If we go back and look at the last model run, it was there for the 12Z. The 6Z was not really there. It gets more organized by the run. So, I mean, we'll watch for it, but 300 hours out, I'm not too worried or concerned about this if this was to even happen. This would be past hurricane season on December the 7th. As well. So even if we go into like the 8th as well, you can see some more activity trying to pop off. But again, 300 hours out. And then even if we go back into the anomalies as well, we go on to look and see these temperature anomalies. We stay warmer than average for the most part until Thanksgiving. We get cooler, and then we stay warmer even as we go into around like the 2nd, but then the 3rd comes along, another cold air blast comes through. And then it warms back up as you go into around like the 6th and the 7th of December. Now, we were just talking about that tropical area, so let's go on and talk about the tropics, as there is no tropical cyclone activity that is expected during the next 7 days. So we are good in terms of tropical cyclone activity for right now. Even if we go into the ensembles as well, let's see what they say. We're going to look at the European one, because that's the one that we usually look at. And I'm not going to sit here and say that we are all in the clear, and we're done with hurricane season, because look at even December the 2nd as well. You can see, look at all that activity starting to pop up a little bit as we go into around like the 29th here. Go on and push this forward, and you can see for sure there's some activity going on in the Caribbean on December the 2nd. Yes, December the 2nd. That is a complete 2 days. Well, actually, that's just the day after hurricane season ends. But for the most part, on December the 2nd, it shows still some activity going on. And so you might be asking, well, you were telling us this entire time, you know, or, you know, that once we get to December the 1st, we shouldn't really have to worry about the tropics too much. And so the question you may be asking is, you know, is it still possible to have a hurricane form after hurricane season has ended? And so, you know, the answer to that, I mean, yes, you know, it's possible for a hurricane to form after the official hurricane season ends on November the 30th, although it is rare. You know, you have lingering ocean warmth, favorable atmospheric conditions, and so you can see that in May to December. And so that's, I've seen some years to where we had it to where like they had to kind of get on schedule early in May because we have some stuff going on, and I believe in seasons past now. But December and May, it's not impossible. And so even though hurricane season might be over, hurricanes might not be. And so they don't follow dates. They don't follow, if it's, you know, if it ends on December the 1st, you know, they're going to just look at it and just start laughing because it doesn't really care. And they will just continue either way. And so that is all that I have to say really there for the tropics, is that we still have to watch for it. Make sure that your hurricane plans are still in place just in case something does happen. Because even though we've been quiet pretty much all year except for Tropical Storm, I forgot how to pronounce the name. But it came up and it caused us, you know, some rain, some gusty winds conditions along our coastal regions on July the 4th. It was the one that started with the C. But that was like months ago at this point. But let's go on now and talk with the audience. If you want to be part of the audience, you can by joining us at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Let's see what the audience has to say for tonight. Starting off with my Aunt Lula. She's here first tonight. She says, good evening, everyone. Good evening to you. Mr. Chris says, good evening, everyone. Hope you all had a great day. I did. My Aunt Lula comes back and says, I pray that everyone has had a blessed, warm day. I did. Then Mr. Chris says, today was very nice in Moncks Corner. Got a little cloudy this afternoon, but no rain. Same here at my house. Let me see what else we have. My Aunt Lula says, today in Georgetown, it was beautiful. Glad to hear that. Mr. Chris says, please remember to go and hit the like button and subscribe button. Also share with everyone that you know to help the channel grow. He's absolutely correct. We've had 13 people tune in so far and only 7 likes. If you are a part of that 6 that have not hit the like button yet, go on and do so. It's free and you can change your mind at any time. Mr. Anthony says, good evening, everyone. Good evening to you. Mr. Chris said, JP, I listened to the Q&A, and I'm so happy you mentioned Ryan Hall. I listened to him myself, and he's good. He is good. Like I said, he was one of my inspirations for sure, and a lot of people do know that. But, yeah, he was definitely one of my inspiration from why I got into meteorology. And if you want to go on and check out the Q&A video that I posted and know my full answer towards it, I recommend going on and check that out. Because I answered a lot of good questions that I had, and I forgot how many questions it was. It was about like a good 10-ish, 10, 15-ish questions, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere around there. And so make sure that you go on and check it out. My name says, hello, Jack. Nice day. We did the yard, and I just sat in the sun. Well, that's good to hear. I know we have some leaves that we need to get taken up, but other than that, because I mean it was a bit breezy today, so I saw like all the leaves falling off, not only off the in the pine tree, it was also not only falling off the pine tree, but also off of just the actual oak trees as well. And so saw a lot there as we went throughout today, as I was pretty much outside all day. Let me see what else we have. Mr. Chris says, check my current temperature, and it's 67 out here in Moncks Corner. Well, right now, if I go on and check mine, right now, I'm around 66, but it's 65.7, so that rounds up to 66. So it's about to drop down to 65 soon. That says, good evening, Joseph. I trust all is well. Good news, I finished my Christmas decoration. I think I need a round of applause. Well, you know what? I'll go and give it to you. From what I said last night, not last night, but a couple of nights ago when I was talking about those Christmas decorations, I'll give you that round of applause because you got it finished. So I'll give you the round of applause. I will give it to you for tonight. It was a beautiful day here in San Antonio as well as in Houston. Well, that's good to hear for you. And then Mr. Chris says if it forms before the first, it's possible. Well, I mean, it doesn't have to just be before the first for hurricanes to form. I mean, it can also be after. It just matters if the conditions are favorable enough. And so, even if you go into after the first and the conditions are still there, it's possible. And so, I would say that, you don't have to just look at it from a November the 30th scale. We got to look at it from even past November the 30th past into the 1st of December as well, because even if it's not formed by then, it still could definitely form. And that's all that I can see here inside the chat for tonight. If you want to go in and leave something inside the chat, go in and do so. You have to be a subscriber, though. And that's all in terms of the audience for now. We'll come back, like I said. But let's go ahead and talk about the 4 locations outside of South Carolina. You might be asking what 4 locations I'm talking about. San Antonio, Texas, Raleigh, North Carolina, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and then also Duncan, Oklahoma. The reason why we talk about these locations, which is relatively short, only like a couple of minutes, like 1 or 2, is because we have people from these areas who tune in almost nightly. And so, even though their location is not being talked about, we still go on, and they still go on and show support to the channel, even though their main area is not being covered. But that's why we talk about them. So we're going to talk about San Antonio first. San Antonio with low temperatures tonight at 61, high temperatures tomorrow at 75, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at 68. Now, in terms of rainfall, nothing tonight, but tomorrow, there is a slight chance of shower activity, and then tomorrow night, it upgrades to around like a 40% chance. So as you get throughout the day tomorrow, the risk of excess of rainfall just in general will increase. Now, right now, you are like right on the border for some isolated flash flooding tomorrow going into Monday morning, but you're like not in there quite yet. But I mean, you're right there. I might as well just say you might have a chance for some isolated flash flooding tomorrow, especially if they expand it a little bit more. You would be in there, so maybe watch out for that on tomorrow going into Monday. But then also in terms of severe weather on Monday, isolated severe storms are possible on Monday for you, so make sure that you're watching out for that as well, as that could potentially be a concern. Then for Raleigh, North Carolina, you have low temperatures tonight at 50, high temperatures tomorrow at 67, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at 41. Slight chance of showers tonight. No precipitation is expected after that. And then in terms of excessive rainfall and severe weather, you can probably guess it. Absolutely nothing for you. Then for Philadelphia, you have low temperatures tonight at 32, high temperatures tomorrow at 52, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at 37. No precipitation tonight, tomorrow, or just tomorrow night, as patchy fog is expected not only tonight, but also tomorrow morning. Excessive rainfall, severe weather, nothing for you. And then the final area being Duncan, Oklahoma, with low temperatures tonight at 41, high temperatures tomorrow at 66, and low temperatures tomorrow night at 52. Now, this is interesting. Now I'm guessing it's for, because if I go in and check real quick. Yeah, okay. So, okay, I see what happened. Okay. So, actually, if we go into your precipitation chance, obviously you see chance of showers, tonight, tomorrow. Oops, I did not mean to do that at all. Let me go in and cancel that real quick. But that says chance of showers for tonight, tomorrow. During the day, there also is a slight chance of showers, and then on tomorrow night, showers are expected. And so, that's not also, that's not really too much of a surprise, as tomorrow you have a slight risk for excessive rainfall. We've been talking about that on Thursday, I believe we talked about it, how you had a slight risk for some excessive rainfall on Sunday, and it's still there. So scattered flash flooding is possible for you on tomorrow. So make sure that you're watching for that. That's not only tomorrow, but going into tomorrow night, maybe even Monday morning, as that's the region it goes throughout. And so that's it there. And then let me see what else. I think that's it for the next, all the 4 locations. So what's going on throughout the entire U.S. weather news wise? Scattered thunderstorms and widespread showers are expected from the Texas coast to the central Appalachians today. Heavy to excessive rainfall will continue in Southern California into the desert Southwest through Saturday, and heavy rainfall will pose a risk of flash flooding, especially across burn-scarred and urbanized regions. And so that will continue for these areas. We also will receive some dense fog inside of Kansas, as well as Missouri will be receiving some dense fog. Maybe even actually, no, I think that's air quality alert, so never mind. That actually is nothing. It's important, but it's like near the bottom of the list right now. Or actually, no, that is dense fog. It says dense fog advisory over there for the more like the central portions of California, like from Sacramento down into Stockton, into Modesto, into all like these areas in California where dense fog is also possible down for them as well. And so that is about all in terms of the entire U.S. So let's go ahead and check out the chat one more time. That says, actually, I keep pounding, go Panthers. Absolutely. We don't play tomorrow. We play Monday Night Football, so that will be going on. I still will be live at 9 o'clock, but I probably will have the game going on my TV as well. So I'm not, obviously, this will obviously be my main priority. And obviously, I will be focusing on this. The game will probably just be in the background, no audio with it. It'll probably just be there. I hope it occurs when halftime is going on, though. Really do hope that happens. So, and then my nan says, Jay, thank you. You are simply amazing. Love you. Thank you so much for that comment. Love you as well. And that is all that I can see here inside the chat for tonight. So what's going on in terms of the top fans? Well, top fans for tonight, Mr. Chris is at number 1. My Aunt Lula's at number 2, and then Thad's at number 3. Congratulations to the 3 of y'all for being the top fans of the night tonight. If you want to be a top fan, you can. You just have to be a subscriber of the channel. You have to be active inside the chat, so more than just 1 or 2 chats. And then you also have to be here early as well, because it usually is on an early basis as well. So the first person to get here, it also sometimes happens with sometimes it depends on that as well. And that's all that there is. And so I don't see anything else inside the chat. Don't think I missed anything else. Says make sure that you tune in tomorrow morning, Sunday morning forecast update. That's when I will be here. And then also Sunday night, tomorrow night, 9 o'clock p.m. Going to be a big night. We're going to be talking about the last full week of November. And the next week, we'll be talking about the last day of November. And then it will be the first week of December. And so we're going to talk about that tomorrow. So make sure that you are there tomorrow night for your week forecast update. And then after that, winter forecast is coming up as well in about a week. And then same thing with the December forecast as well. And that's all. So I will be back tomorrow morning and with your Sunday forecast update. Everyone have a fantastic rest of your Saturday.